Hello there. The Project Baccara data center just got its vote from the ACC, was unanimous to push forward with it. I'm just going to go over a synopsis of what was discussed and why it's BS. Um, I'm going to be kind of random and out of order here because I was just taking notes as it went. I'm going to try to keep this to 10 minutes. I'm also going to do a lot of trash talking because, like many of you, I am very tired of being taken advantage of just all of it. And you who are watching this know. So there's going to be a lot of trash talking, there's going to be a lot of cursing, and there's going to be a lot of saying things that I'm probably going to be told later that wasn't very diplomatic. And quite frankly, fuck that shit. So, first off, I'm just going straight down my notes. There's this misconception that data centers being built. How are we going to live without our email and being? This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about hyperscale data centers, and Project Baccara is going to be one of the largest. Um, and so this isn't for email. This isn't for our Google Maps, even though this is one of the other Democratic candidates keeps trying to assert. Even though he's a scientist, he should know better. These are for surveillance. These are for the whims and pleasures of the billionaires. These data. I'll just put it this way. Look at the maps of where they're trying to build the detention centers, and look at the map of where they're trying to build data centers. They're right next to each other. So there's all this talk about how much water saving they're going to be doing. Um, But these are all projections. They're myths. Remember, Project Beetle or Project Blue started off saying they were going to create water. This is the same thing. And with this particular data center, they're going to have their own power plant. And they're trying to frame it as look at all the money it's going to save ratepayers. We're doing it ourselves. And and I'll come to that later because there's issues beyond whether it should be done or not. There's also other constraints, and then they're still trying to use, every data center tries to say, oh well, but we're using a special cooling system. These cooling systems still use water. These cooling systems still use energy, which means they use large amounts of water. And when they propose these are done in areas where it doesn't get 120 degrees. So these systems do not work as efficiently, hence using more electricity, hence using more water, than they do in other areas of the country where the temperatures are a bit more reasonable in the summer. So this data center is going right up against the airbase, and it was brought up a couple of times by speakers. The lawyers and lobbyists, God, I'm so sick of the fucking lobbyists. Oh, and just so you know, all you from the chambers of commerce, fuck all of you. You're just pushing your own agenda. You try to make it sound like you're doing great things for the community. You are not. You are the problem. Print that, send that on the internet. Make me famous. Go for it. Fuck them all. So this airbase, one, it was brought up that, well, from the lawyer side, it was insinuated, it was appropriately worded that Luke Air Force Base was in favor of this. However, there has been no word that Luke Air Force Base is in favor of this. This is much like how in the Marana, Lazarus and Sylvan was tap dancing around having partnerships with community college, but no such partnerships have been spoken of. So it was brought up that there is not partnership. Also, the danger with the air quality, with the emissions, the visibility decreasing, because Luke Air Force Base is a teaching facility for these pilots, and how that further makes things difficult and more dangerous for the young pilots. You know, we're seeing the same thing. This happens every single one. They say you cannot look at this. The ACC will say we are not going to look at this, but they'll also jump in back and forth. So when it's, again, the lawyers or the lobbyists, they're allowed to talk about things holistically, but they do not allow the public. They restrict the public and what the public is allowed to say. So there's also a huge and I think valid concern. So this, at least a lot of the other data centers try to lie and say, oh, look at all these alternatives that we're going to use for energy. Project Baccara is straight out gas and diesel fueled. They do not try to dismiss that. They try to say, oh, but we're the better diesel fuel. But now you're storing these huge amounts of gas and fuel near this Air Force base where accidents have happened, and now you are now compounding the impact of that disaster. Really, the argument from the lawyers is, oh, we're not as bad as other places. Our suction of all the water isn't as much as other things. So it's never we're good or we can minimize this impact. It's just, oh, we're not as bad, is their argument. Just like in a lot of cases, the data changes. They keep saying different things every single time. So there's also, this comes up a lot too, the NIMBY argument, the not in my backyard. This is used at like, oh, look how horrible they are for not wanting this in backyard. I think people should not want things they don't want in their backyard. That communities should decide. So and I've had this discussion just up in Sholo about this aggressive push for always needing to grow. What if you don't want your community to grow? And that was an argument that some of the residents in this area made. The reason they moved there was because it was more rural, because it was the environment they wanted. So yes, they don't want it in their backyard, and I think that's a valid thing to want. You should want your community to represent what you want. And so I personally reject the NIMBY, or the, how would you phrase that? It's okay for people to want what's in their backyard and not want what's in their backyard. There's also question of the legality of this, and I actually learned it. So there has been an Arizona statute preventing building in this area, and now all of a sudden they're going to put a data center. So businesses haven't been able to build there, just communities haven't been able to build, but now this data center is going to be allowed, and it does go against some of the statutes. Now, one of the things that the commission likes to do is they like to do a lot of pomp and circumstance about how much authority they have and how they're elected. But then when it's something they don't want, they say, well, it's not for us to say. That's a county issue, or that's a Department of Defense issue. Oh, that's the military base. We're just approving this section. It's someone else's fault if this goes through. And so, for all they like to do to say how powerful they are, they never use that power for good. Someone made the comment that I really loved, that it's the commission's job to protect people from harm. And I absolutely do not think they do that. And, the comment was made that they're pushing out families and farms for this huge industrial complex. One of the commissioners said, oh, home values are known to go up 150% when you have power stations nearby. No, values go down. Uh, so again, that's just what I want to talk to you about. That's just my quick notes on the bullshit at hand. There's two things I'd like you to do for me. One is check me out a little bit more. If you like how we vibe, please sign my ballot petition. Get someone who's going to fight for you on the Arizona Corporation Commission. The second thing is, I'm tired of being the only candidate there. And this isn't, hey, I'm better than them, although, write them. Tell them, how come you're not there? I attended online today because I had something come up I couldn't go up, although I wanted to be in person. Why are they not fighting for you now? Why are they waiting for a title and a paycheck? We need now. So I will call them out. And this isn't to call them out. I want to see you fighting for your community. So write to them, let them know I'm tired of being the only one speaking out. And please help get someone who's going to fight for you. There's another argument of, oh, it's unfair to defend the community and it'll harm the businesses. That's what I'm willing to do for you.